everyone, it's Jean from Lizzie Jean's Artistic Chaos. So what do you do when it's 90 plus degrees out? You come into your craft room studio and you play on the gel plate. So I have decided just to use my 3x5 gel plate today because what I want to do is take some of my prints that I have made. They're on different kinds of paper. Some of them I have cut down. These probably will be the majority we will work with today. They have been done with faux botanicals. They've been done with some buttons and different things that I tried on the gel plate. But today I'm going to use some of my PM Artist stamps and stencils, and these are by various designers. So if you are interested in any of the ones that I used today, just hop on over to pmartiststudio.com and check out their foam stamps and their stencils. So the one I want to use today is actually called Crop Circles, and I got this one as a 5x7 because I really love the design on it. So I'm going to use it in different positions on my smaller plate and see what I like. And I want to get colors that might be a little bit iridescent or maybe a little bit shimmery. So I have some of my metallics, I have some of my shift paints out. So we're just gonna try this because it's hot and we wanna have something fun to do and not think about the heat, right? So that's where I'm at with this. I'm gonna pull a couple more colors out. I'm going to be using some of my Apple Barrel Craft paint because it'll dry a little bit quicker and we can work with that. So, you know, it's a really funny thing when you start filming, everything is perfect and then something happens, like your nose starts to run or something's ridiculous. So the way that I do this is I put stencil first. I know some people put paint first and then stencil, but we're going to try it with stencil first. And I'm just going to use a little bit of paint because it's hot in my room the majority of the time. I don't have central air, so what tends to happen is my paint will get warm. So if you notice that my paint is a little more liquidy-er than normal, that's why. So I have a page over here that I can brayer off, and then I'm just going to use, this is actually another portion of a PM Artist Studio stamp. So I'm just going to put these smaller pieces on here. I'm not sure how much will come up, but we're just going to do a couple quick pulls to kind of get some interest. Now, I can see the circle, but that's about it. So I probably need to add just a tiny bit more paint. And because the stencil is newer, it hasn't been broken in quite yet. So let me just roll this again, and I'm going to add to it. This is a metallic It's called Green Silk. I'm just going to mix it in with the teal. And metallic does dry a little faster than your regular paint. And these are all things that I have learned from PM Artist Studio live stream with Patricia and Mariah. So I often will put their link on my page, on my community post. So if you want to come and learn about gel printing, or you are just looking for a fun community to talk with, we have a great time over there. So come on by and watch one of the live streams and see what you think. Now this, again, I think is just a little bit too much paint, but we're gonna keep working with it until we get it the way we want. So it's either too much paint or it's just not picking up the color. So let's try something a little bit lighter and see what we can get. It's hard when you have a stencil that has a lot of different crevices to try to get down into that. This came up nice. Now if you look at that on an angle, so we'll let that dry and come back and look at it later. All right, so I like the purple on this. Give me just 1 minute to get a paper towel. So I hope you guys are staying cool and hydrated. Honestly, there's not a whole lot else we can do at this point until it cools off. And hopefully it will tomorrow. We're supposed to have cooler temperatures. My husband was trying to get some other plants in his garden. It's because it was so cool and then got so hot that we almost missed, garden time. It's really been crazy. I'm going to try this just on a white piece. This is just a half sheet of copy paper, Hammermill copy paper. So let's see if we can pick this up. I can see the indentation coming through a little bit more of the stencil itself. So let's see what we get from this pull. All right, so it's getting there, but there's still looks like some smearing or something. So we may have to work with this by putting something else on top of it. Let's go ahead and pull the stencil carefully, and we'll let this dry. And while the plate is drying, I'm going to set this over here. We will then come back and put some paint over that. So the idea of doing these prints today, and I've already completed a couple with, I believe it's called the Petal Burst stencil, and there are some really cool ones that came out. Let me see if I can get my light to turn on so you guys can maybe see a better effect. I really wish it would rain, but sometimes I think if it does, it's going to make it hotter than what it really is with the humidity. So there we go. Maybe you can see this a little better now. But I put some metallics on this, and this came out really cool. The others, again, you can see that the impressions were a little bit This one's kind of nice. This one's kind of nice. But it's okay if they're kind of off, because what I will do is I will either stamp back over them, or stencil back over them with something else, or I will stamp on them. So this is one that I stamped, and this is one of Carrie's stamps, and I think this one is Christie's, but I'm not sure. So again, just pop over to the website and you can see everything there. So I used some stamps here just for kind of mark making, and then once I cover the ATC with this, you will notice that the focal point, or should I say, what you're seeing as a focal point now may not be what ends up on the ATC. When you see these ATCs in smaller form, the larger stamping and stenciling just really comes out, and it looks pretty cool. So let me see if I have another one here. And let's see, with this one, I'm really a fan of the purple, especially this one. So we'll put that on an ATC here in a little bit. Some of these I like. This one I stamped with the beans, the coffee beans. So that's fun. And I am going to I'm just using a VersaFine. I have, actually the Memento one is the one that is the permanent ink. And that's the one I've been trying to use because I don't want, if it gets wet, for water to affect the actual design that I'm putting on for the stamp. So on top of this one, I think I'm going to use this number stamp, and I think this might be one of Carrie's also. I just got a few new ones of his, and I got a really, really sweet gift from a friend of some stamps, so that definitely made me smile. So there's a lot of great people out there in the community that like to share, and I think that's fabulous. Okay, so we have some stamped numbers on there, and then we are going to use this for an ATC background. Now let's take a look at this. So I can see it, and I can see the marks in it. It's really quite cool, and I don't know if I want to stamp anything over it. Maybe I will just do a plant. Let's try this one. I haven't used this one yet. And again, I'm just using a dye-based ink that should be permanent and not I tell you, I love foam stamps so much better. Now see, I moved that, which it's okay because it still looks okay with the way the plant is. And again, on my ATC, I might not get all of that image, so it still came out nice. Okay, let's look at some of these other ones. Here's one. You can see the Petal Blast on it. We can use, let's see what else I have over here. Here's a plant I haven't used yet. I really love these. Hopefully I didn't scooch this one this time. Okay. Very nice. I love it. I love the plants. I really do. Let's do a little edging here. This, I think, may have belonged to Sophia. This may be one of her pieces. I'm just going to put a piece of paper down here so I don't have... Now, these larger pieces, we could use them instead of for ATCs. We could also do a larger postcard type if we wanted to. So there is another one we can use. So we have this really pretty purple one with the crop circle, and then these are the petals. And let's see which one else we've done. We've done I did those before. This one, kind of a cool one. Oh, this one I love. This one came out really nice. Okay, so we have a couple here that we can still stamp, but let me check our plate and see where if it's dry. I'm sure it is. Yeah. So let's pull this with something light colored. I don't really have a whole bunch of translucent. What we could do is we could use just a tiny bit of glaze, and I'm going to put this on with the roller, and then I'm going to put the paint on the top. So I covered my roller up, and it's mint green from using it. There's fruit flies. So I was thinking, just in general, you know, things have been kind of topsy-turvy. No matter who you talk to, there's something going on. I was just wondering if you finish watching this video, if you would please tell me what random act of kindness you have benefited from, or that you have given to someone else. In our area right now, there was a power plant fire, so there were several individuals that were without water, air conditioning, electricity. Can you imagine being in that situation, as hot as it is? So I thought that would be something nice that we could think about during this tumultuous time that we're experiencing. I'm all about random acts of kindness, so just let me know in the comment section what you've experienced or what you have done for someone else. me personally, I'm very big on sharing things, and I love to gift things. Sometimes it takes me longer because I can't get out and do the shipping and everything myself, but when I do get that opportunity, it's very enjoyable to share with other people. So there we go. We have another cool little background. Even though the crop circle portion didn't come out exactly as we expected, that's okay. I also brought out some of these. They're distressed oxide sprays, and this one is called Peeled Paint. It's another green, so let me put the lid on my ink pad so it doesn't turn green. And I'm just shaking this up. Now this one has some mica in it that makes it shimmery, so I'm going to swirl this and hopefully it will come out shimmery. Lately I've been really loving these greens. So there we have some green added to that, and we'll let that dry. So if you have sprays or stamps, inks, great opportunity to make something cool with your gel prints and add some interest to them to later use for ATCs, as I mentioned, or other options. Now this one is actually a mica spray, and it's called Antique Bronze. So let's see what this one looks like on top of it. I don't know why I'm liking the shimmers lately, but I really do. Now this is not quite as bright, but once it soaks in, it's going to be very beautiful. And sometimes I just, I'm okay with getting it on my plate. So if it comes off on the roller, we're okay with that. All right. So I'm going to lay this one over here in the window to dry. And I wanted to mention to you all as well, I was invited by Hazel Anaka to participate in her heart-to-heart with Hazel program that she has. And it's really interesting to listen to the people on there, learn a little bit about them. And so I'm going to be on tomorrow, and you can find the details on my community tab. But if you'd like to stop by and see my face and see who I am and talk with us a little, that would be wonderful. Okay, so this came out pretty cool. I can see these might be some places where the stencil, the holes are not completely punched through, but other than that, it came out really cool, and it will look nice on a background, and it does have a little bit of a metallic look to it. So let's see what else we can do with our crop circles. I'm going to move this down just a little bit, and I'm going to try, save that to pull. Let me try, I thought I had my dark purple here. Let me look again. I don't can't see it. Okay. Well, we will use, I don't want to use blue-gray. I'm just not a blue-gray kind of girl. I like Payne's gray, but it's not like one of my go-to colors. Sorry, having messes down here doesn't help. So I'm going to put some purple on here and hopefully not have too much, but enough that it will still show through the, I'll be able to pick up through the stencil. I wanted some of these larger holes here. So let's see what we're gonna get. If you haven't done any type of jelly plating before, I encourage you to do so because it is a lot of fun and relaxing, and you know, not every pull is going to be perfect, but every pull is going to be fun because you never know what's underneath. Okay, so this is interesting. It just got part of it, but still picked up some of the green. That could be the way I have it positioned though. Let's see. Yeah. Let's move this a tiny, well, it'll be okay. Move it a tiny bit over. And then I'm going to use, boy, the wind really picked up. I don't know if it's going to try to storm here in a minute or what. This paint is really, some of it is really watery. Okay, here we go. So in case you didn't realize, I am definitely a winter person. I'm gonna put this back down. It's not completely dry, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, it's really blowing around some stuff. But I don't see any rain yet. Okay, let's see what we pick up from this. Okay, just another offset of the circle. Okay, this is a Leaf Blast, and I'm going to add some, this is a metallic pink to this. Whoa! See what I mean about it being a little bit on the runny side? I don't know, maybe I need more. One of the things that's always a challenge when you're working with paint, different kinds of paint, different kinds of paper, is seeing how that's gonna react and how much paint you actually need. So it's sometimes hard to gauge. So you just keep practicing and see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up, and on top of the Leaf Blast, it's kind of interesting, but I don't know that pink was the color for that. So let me see what else I have. I have this, which I think may have been done with the spherical stream or circular stream, but I'm not 100%. let me throw some gold on here. See what happens. Well, there we go. A big blob of gold. That's funny. Okay, I'm gonna try this one. And then we will see what other stamping we need to do, and then we'll cover some ATCs. And one of the things that I think is the coolest with gel plate, even when you get extra paint on there, this is kind of interesting because it's very subtle. When you get a lot of paint on here and you pick it up, even though it's kind of, what do I want to say? Maybe not necessarily the clearest print. I love the texture that it gives. The texture that it gives is quite amazing. So I'm going to put down some more gold. And I might add some of this tiny bit of this. It's called parchment, antique parchment. I like it. I like that color. Now this is browning out the, not really browning out, but it's making it more of a mocha color. So let me pull this with white first and see what happens. And then we'll try it with something else. I'm gonna really press this in. I'm just afraid that because this is a newer stencil, I don't want the paper to stick to the stencil. So that's why I'm not pressing too hard. Although I am on this one, so we'll see. Okay, this is a very interesting color. And it does pick up some of the green that we had initially. I really want to see what a clean print of this looks like instead of it being smashed in there. So let me see if I can get anything with the second pull. I don't know. Very, very light. So not a whole lot at all. But still interesting. Let's put some lavender on here. How about that? Did I already use lavender? Probably. That's okay. I like it. I like the purple. I'm a purple kind of gal. Although this is not exactly purple. This is kind of an off color. Okay, so here we shall see what we get. Just another print. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Lift this up. I love the way that's looking. And I'm going to let this dry. And I'm going to come back and use, no, actually I'm just going to leave that, let it dry, and then we'll come back and pull it with something. In the meantime, I want to use some of these. See, this is leaving some texture, and I really like that. It's not quite dry, but we can stamp something over it. If we want to stamp, do we want to stamp something circular? Let's try it with a distressed oxide. And this is dried marigold. And I'm going to put it off center a little bit. Can't see it very well on there, so or it could just be me. But I'm going to take, what did I do with my water bottle? I'll spray a little water on it. Spray a little water, drink a little water. And usually when you spray with Distress Oxide, you get like a weird effect. I think we just can't see it on this background. So I'm going to leave this to dry. And we have some that we were working with earlier. This would look good with some, I keep thinking I want to put purple on that, but I don't think I do. I think this is an orange, yellow. Okay, yellow. Now this is just a regular ink spray. It doesn't have the mica in it or the glittery in it, which is okay. I like that. And I think I have over here, I thought I had another one that was like a weathered, but I'm not sure. Okay, so let me let this dry, this yellow one, and put the lid on this, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm just gonna turn this, well, we'll fold this in half so we won't get ink everywhere. And then I have some ATCs here. These are just blanks that I got off Amazon or someplace, and I used I looked up ATCs. I couldn't find any, so these are card blanks, which like poker card blanks, and they're the right size. So I just have not been able to locate my corner rounder. That's another thing. How many of you think that we need to have like tools, 5 of everything, so that you can put it in all your locations? That's what I feel like sometimes. About the only thing that I have multiples of are paintbrushes, scissors, palette knives, that's about it. Pens, paper, markers. I have a lot of markers, and I was worried about them with this heat, so I hope they don't get, see, this came out really nice. I really enjoy that. So that'll be an ATC background, and I can take some glitter and put over these, the tree or the botanical, or I could put a person. I can do all kinds of things with that. So let's cover another one and save your scraps, because you have these pretty scraps that can make like faux washi. Oh, actually that one's done. That was done with Circular Stream, I'm pretty sure. That's cute. Maybe we'll stamp something on this one though. What can we stamp to make it look interesting? My children used to say interesting. They had a hard time saying interesting. Okay, so there's circles there. So let's put some squares and just be kind of square. I love this little square. I'm not sure who made it, but it's adorable. And we'll use the triangle one, and we will get this all geometrically looking. I have another one here that's triangle, but the other one was like a square. Yeah, square around the corner, I call it. I don't know what you guys call it. Square around the corner, which we're running out of places to put it. But there, look how we changed that into this really cool geometric thing. Love it. Okay, next blank, we will, is this dry yet? No. Can we use this? We could use this. Maybe when it's in a smaller form, it will look interesting. So, is it still, it's a little wet, but it'll be okay. Interesting. So yesterday I was trying to do a video and it just seemed like there were so many bloopers. I just gave up after like take 4. I'm not very good at editing, so usually what you get, what you see is what you get. And it was I was on the struggle bus, man. It was hard to get that one. So I'll go back and redo that. Oh, that came up. Tore, I think, because it was a little bit wet. But that's okay. We will put something over that. See, I can see this. I don't know if you guys can, but that gold is kind of cool on there. And then I can see the image of the other floral that we put on it. Okay, let me go down here and see what's going on with this. This is definitely dry. I'm going to pull it with some silver if I can get it out of here. Hopefully it'll come out. And hopefully it'll pull properly. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera. Silver bells. It's the wrong time of year for that. Wrong time of year for that, Jean. It's funny, I know songs. I don't always know songs, but I do know a few. And then I will sing them. And then I hope that gnat didn't fly in there. That'll be an interesting little addition. Okay, so we'll let this dry, which it shouldn't take very long since we use metallic. Let's go ahead and cover another ATC or two while we are waiting on our let's see. While we're waiting on the plate to dry. And just a little reminder, if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. It doesn't cost you a thing to do that, but if you enjoyed the video, what it does do is it really helps the creator, someone like myself. So if you decide you want to do that, that would be great. I would be forever grateful. So I'm going to show you so far what we have done. Let me flip this over. Well, I don't think that's any clearer. Let me try this white paper. And let me move these back. Okay, so we have this one that we use some yellow spray on, and that's still drying, so I'm going to put that up here. We have some of the crop circle designs, and I definitely need to work a little bit more on those. However, I do like, for example, this one. This one's kind of interesting, but again, not a real clear impression. This one's very nice, just small. And then we added some numbers to this, and I showed you the beans, showed you some others that I did with the petals. These are all done with the petals. And this is one that is done with the petals. Here's another crop circle. This is a petal, this is just a plain one. And that looks like everything with the exception of this one. This one's very cool. And then we did some backgrounds and some stamping using different stamps and different positions of stamps. This one I'm gonna do with the other one. I think there's a fourth one of these, and I don't know where it ran off to, so I have to look for the other one. This one, let me turn this on the back so I don't ruin anything. Stamp this over here. And there we go. And what I'll do is I'll take a little marker, or either the image will, whatever I put on there will cover up that little piece that tore. So that's very cool. And as a finale, we will go ahead and pull this print. Let me cover this. I used the wrong ink pad, so hopefully that doesn't smear. Okay, we'll pull this and see what it looks like with the silver. And so again, you know, it's just probably a practice thing with this small of the holes that it has. It looks pretty nice, but I'm going to work some more with it. It's brand new stencil for me, so I just got it. I love it. I think it's beautiful, but I think it does take a little bit more practice. So again, hop on over to pmartiststudio.com and get your stamps and get your stencils so that you can make some really cool ATC backgrounds during this heat wave. Please be safe, drink your water, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.